Hey guys, Greg here, the Vinyl Rundown, coming to you on a Friday night. I'm not in the normal vinyl room, I'm in the guitar room, which is a bedroom that has a couple of guitars hanging on the wall. I'm chilling out on a Friday night with some cheap whiskey. I'm trying to get in the mood for this. I'm going to tell you about a couple of horror stories that have happened to me at the thrift shops I go to all the time. Here's an album I picked up physically with my hands and looked at it. I'll show you the photo. Barry Manilow. Okay, I'm not exactly a Barry Manilow fan. I'm not going to buy this record, but what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with Barry Manilow's feet? Do you see a problem with this album? Barry's feet are gone, and can you tell why they're gone? So that is what I would call rodent damage. This is a rat-chewed album. It's weird, but I'm seeing a lot of this lately. Different thrift stores. I guess LA has a lot of rats, and rats love delicious LPs, so that's kind of gross. And I held that in my hand, and if a rat chewed on it for an hour, there are traces of rodent hair and rat feces. I'm sorry, I had to say it, rat feces. So it gets worse though. It gets worse. So let me show you a couple other albums I saw at another Goodwill a couple days later. Check these out. Do you notice anything here? Records aren't supposed to look like that. Okay, what the hell is going on with these records? This other Goodwill had two crates of records that had just appeared that I hadn't seen before, and you could tell they were just a little damp and a little musty, and so that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing some mold, and pretty serious hardcore mold. I mean, check some of these out. Why would you have this record in your store? Why would you have this record in your house? And there was actually one decent record in this whole pile. At the very end was this one, Beach Boys. Okay, that's at least a desirable record. Most of this stuff was junk, and but the Beach Boys, you know, for a split second, I thought, okay, maybe that's worth saving. But pull the vinyl out and look at the vinyl. The vinyl is there a grade below F? I mean, this thing is so scratched up, but it's even got mold growing on the vinyl itself, which is unusual. Usually the mold is all over the cardboard, and the record is savable, but this record is like so far gone. It's unbelievable. So that brings me to another couple topics, related topics. First of all, if you own a store, why are you bringing this stuff into your store? You know, like throw it out. This is some serious mold growth, and you're actually jeopardizing the health of your employees who are sitting there and breathing it for 8 hours a day. I mean, I was in and out of that store for 5 minutes, and I like, you know, probably hypochondriac, like, you know, can I breathe? And get a Purell myself. But I feel sorry for these store employees who are working there and inhaling that stuff all day long. I mean, mold is serious, and an asthmatic can have a really negative reaction to this amount of mold. This is my analogy. So the Goodwill sells a lot of clothes. So if you had a shirt that was worn by a gunshot victim, would you just put that on the shelf at the regular price? You know, bullet holes, blood everywhere. Oh yeah, all shirts are $5.99. Bullet hole, no bullet hole. Mold, no mold. You know, maybe I'm asking too much. But the bad news for you record collectors is this kind of influences the way we should be thinking about cleaning our records. So if you bought a record in that store, but it wasn't the moldy one, but it was 3 records away from the moldy one, there's a high level of mold in this store, and you got to deep clean these records. And I'm going to go as far as to say any thrift shop record, any garage sale record, you have to deep clean with a wet base cleaner. You know, these little dust brushes that you know, over the top, not enough. You got to dig in and get to the mold. And a lot of you are probably using the spin clean. I use the spin clean all the time, and maybe you have one of these vacuum systems. That's great. You really need to be at that level of deep cleaning if you're bringing stuff home from these thrift stores, because I mean, all this stuff has been in somebody's garage or attic or basement for 40 years, and you don't know what's going on in someone else's house. So that brings me to one more point, which is, how do you kill the mold? And even if you can't see it, it's in there. It's in the grooves. Mold is microscopic. It's all over everything. It's on my hands now. And given the right amount of humidity and the right temperature, it will just start growing and growing and growing. But it's sitting there lying dormant, waiting to grow all the time. Do you remember that experiment you might have done in 4th grade with a piece of bread and the water and blah, blah, blah? And you can make mold grow on a piece of bread in the right temperature, like immediately. It grows really fast. So what do we clean this stuff with? A lot of the vinyl audiophile super collector experts and snobs say, well, you should never put harsh chemicals on your vinyl like alcohol. Okay, if you've got these great pristine records that have been in your collection for decades and you know they've been in a clean house, maybe no alcohol. But if you're bringing stuff home from these thrift stores that are just full of biohazards, I don't know what you're going to kill this mold with other than alcohol. And I'm not saying you pour alcohol on your record, but if I'm doing a spin clean, I might use a tablespoon of alcohol. I used to use vinegar, and I'm not sure if, I'm not a scientist. I don't know which is better or worse, vinegar, alcohol, both. But I really think you need to deep clean these thrift store records with some alcohol and or vinegar or these enzyme cleaners. But in addition to cleaning off dirt, you have to kill bad stuff. So that's my rant today about records that are so dangerous they can kill you. Please don't let your records kill you. Keep your house safe, and for your family and for your kids and your pets. And let's have vinyl collecting be a safe and sane hobby for years to come. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We will check you later. Bye-bye.